Texas A&M fan weighs in. Speaking of the 2024 schedule, right? This will be A&M's number one recruiting class and their junior year with the easiest schedule they'll ever see. Playoffs are expanded. It's the best shot they will ever have to make the playoffs. In context, the only other shot that they had to make the playoffs was back in 2020, the COVID season, the whole drama with Notre Dame, playing in the ACC championship game, getting blown out and still making the college football playoff. That's closest the Texas A&M has ever come, finishing fifth in the country in the playoff era. Now we get 12 teams for the 2024 schedule. The A&M schedule is without a doubt one of the easier ones, if you can call any SEC schedule easy, comparatively. And I think this listener makes a good point, right? It was one that we talked about. This number one recruiting class, yes, it's not the full class after a number of transfers out, but the core of that class is still intact. When you talk about the trenches, you talk about wide receivers, you talk about the safeties that they brought in. Basically, every cornerback except for Denver Harris, who's now at LSU, is there. Stack on top of that, it wasn't a part of that video, but what A&M's doing in recruiting right now, they have the ninth best class. They're trying to bring in more. We're being told that more guys are on the way. They just had a 5-star commit over the holiday weekend. So for Jimbo, any sort of disappointment, which to me is not making an expanded college football playoff, not being one of the top 12 teams. And I know it's not exactly the top 12 teams, but for all intents and purposes, the top 12 teams in the country. I think that might spell doom for his stint at A&M. But that being said, I agree with this, that this is probably A&M's best chance to make a playoff run is next year.
Yeah, that's a fire take. It will be A&M's best chance to make the playoff, and you're absolutely right. It for as far as an SEC schedule can go, avoiding Alabama and Georgia, sign them up, right? Like that, any team in the SEC would sign up for a schedule that avoids Alabama and Georgia, no matter who else is on that schedule. They I think will host Texas, host LSU, you know, have the Arkansas game at Jerry World. What's their toughest road game in that stretch? Florida, maybe. Ole Miss. I don't know. Yeah, so he's absolutely right. It's basically a now or never moment for Jimbo in 2024. Look, we have all of 2023 to see how he navigates. Right, 2023 could be, an Aggie renaissance, or it could be an epic disaster where everything just falls apart and we're just picking up the pieces in 2024 again. But I don't know. Yeah, 2024 feels like a now or never moment.
Yeah, and now or never, especially because of two other factors. Number one, this is when all of those top rated guys are juniors and pretty much auditioning for the NFL draft because that's the first year they'd be eligible to leave. So all those top playmakers who want to go put on good draft film and see where they could go make millions next year, that's their first chance to do it. They should all be super inspired to go do it. They shouldn't need, a kick in the rear for motivation, right? They should all be on the same page. And 2024, the national championship game is in Houston, Texas. If you're ever going to do it, if A&M's ever going to do it, it's got to be in 2024 when you can guarantee that if you can make it to that top game, you basically have a home game. That all of your top rated guys are going to be there, all of the freshmen, all the chance to catch up with the portal and catch up with whatever they're doing there. Get your new offensive coordinator broken in with Bobby Petrino. If you can do all of that, then yeah, 2024 should be a special season for you. If you're not going to do it in 2024, you really start to look around and say, where's your better opportunity, right? Is it a couple years down the road when in-state rival Texas has had a couple years in the SEC to prove that they can still play well? And then the recruiting momentum shifts for you, because that's probably not going to be that, at that point in time. Is it when Oklahoma gets adjusted? Is it, now that the SEC is switched around, there's new powers emerging? Does Georgia stay on top? We don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like in the SEC right now. But 2024, again, it's a now or never. It's got to happen for the Aggies then, or you really start to look around and say, are we ready to move on from Jimbo? Because I don't know that he's going to take us there if he couldn't do it this year.
It's kind of terrifying as an A&M grad, right? I mean, like seeing seeing all or nothing in front of you is not ever a really fun feeling. But I mean, you want to be a champion, you gotta push through that door, right? You gotta break the glass ceiling. So yeah, we will have a time of reckoning for A&M. Trey, you're right though. You gotta get there. You gotta survive 2023. And there's a lot of optimism about A&M right now. You start listening as preview season starts to kick up. You got a lot of folks that are high on A&M that are expecting this new offense under Bobby Petrino to really pay dividends. It seems like the defense is in a really good spot. They've got a lot of new secondary help as well. I would just pray that Durkin goes away from the three-man front because that's never been able to defend the run. And
Get some
hey,
three
guess what,
techniques
guys?
in there. Come on.
Guess
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? You were number one at defending the pass last year. You were near the very bottom in defending the run, and you went 5-7. So clearly, defending the pass isn't the key to winning at all costs. You got to have a balanced defense, and that's what A&M's been known for in the past several seasons: is defending the run. You flip the script, and suddenly you're 5-7 and don't even make a bowl game. So offensive improvements, defensive adjustments, a whole lot of talent on either side of the ball. I mean, this really should be a very good season for A&M building towards, a make or break season in 2024.
Gracious him. How about that?